Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I am Scott Beason. The day is, the 18th day of June in the year of our Lord 2026. I hope you've had a good morning, and I hope the last 21, 20, 24, 25 hours since I was here with you last. No, 45 hours.
There you go.
45 hours since I was with you last. I hope they have gone well, and I hope everybody is doing really, really good. I'm glad to be back. I hope everything went well with Ann yesterday. She called me to tell me how you might want to just get rid of the whole YouTube thing. Apparently,
she was not too happy.
Apparently, she there was some wrestling. But it's easy to mess up when you're doing everything.
There's a lot to keep up with, a lot to go wrong.
No, there is a bunch of things to go wrong. And then you start focusing on what might have went wrong, and you start losing your place and what you thought and all that. But I told her I'm sure it went well. I heard y'all did some like conspiracy thinker stuff.
We did.
Some Project Blue Beam stuff. And
focused on that a little bit. A lot of aliens and the Blue Beam.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Scary stuff.
Well, you know what's weird about that whole Project Blue Beam stuff is that quote-unquote conspiracy theory has been around for, golly, since the 80s maybe before that. And then you roll in that, who was the guy in, the NASA guy, von Braun.
Werner von
Braun.
He was a German.
A German guy. He was
developed the V2 rocket.
He did, and he was one of the only good guys, and we brought a bunch of the good guys over, and they helped us make atomic weapons and rockets and all kind of stuff. Yeah, who knows what they did? But didn't he tell his secretary or his assistant or whatever that eventually they'll try to tell everybody there's aliens, and that was kind of the big thing. And then when people started calling it Project Blue Beam stuff, and I know I'm really mangling this, but when it first came out, if you heard about it, you're like, there's no way to do that. You can't convince people of that. You can't make things look like that. And now that technology has progressed in such a fashion, I mean, they can... And you know what?
Who knows? That they're certainly capable of a lot of what we talked about, and who knows what else?
Exactly. The things that we do know of, those are the things they let us know about. It's kind of like these super airplanes. You know, they're like, "Hey, look at this new airplane we've got. It's awesome in the whole world now." And they're like, "Yeah, we've had this one for 15 years." And you're like, "Wait a minute, you're just now telling me about it? It's 15 years old?"
I wonder if a lot of what we called UFOs back in the 80s were actually...
was experimental aircraft.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot we're seeing around military, particularly Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot and they have a large naval air station there. So I've always explained some of that away as experimental aircraft.
Yeah.
But it is unidentified to the public.
Right.
So it qualifies.
You're right.
UFO.
You're absolutely right. Anything that looks new, I mean, it's just... But the whole conspiracy theory of all this stuff is there is an ongoing effort to normalize, quote unquote, normalize this idea of aliens. You know, little green men. I guess they're really going to be little gray frog looking men, right?
There's two specific kinds, but one of them are gray.
What's the other kind?
There's the tall grays, and then there's...
Is it just regular grays, and that's the little weird-looking guys, and then there's some tall ones, too?
The lurch style.
Oh, I wasn't aware of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very thin, very tall.
Do they look like the people... Do you remember one of the Star Wars movies, not the first three that were really good, but the one where they're building the clone army? And the people that actually build the clone army are these long, tall, white, pasty, almost skeleton looking, but they're really long. Like you just took somebody and just stretched them straight up.
I was telling Ann yesterday, the Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Man, that's one of the grays. It was actually Lurch from the Addams Family playing the leader.
Really?
Very tall, very silver gray.
Okay. So they're not all the little
No.
bug-eyed, frog-eyed little guys with the that are straight off of Aleister Crowley's,
Yes.
the entity that gave him his insights happens to look like what everybody says these little gray aliens look like.
I think that's the reptilian style.
Is that?
Yeah. I'm pretty
Really?
sure.
They're the
I'll
reptile
have to check.
versions?
I'll have to check that.
Maybe it's the opposite. I don't know. Huh, so y'all got that all hammered out, but there are forces afoot, and for what reason? And we asking during all these campaigns for what? Why would people? But why the big push? Why is everything about aliens and UFOs and you know what I saw yesterday?
What's that?
If there was an alien civilization 2,000 light years away from here, and they were observing Earth with their super duper 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 telescopes because they're so much more advanced than we are. You know what they're seeing?
What are they seeing?
The Roman Empire.
It's collapsing.
Yeah, I mean,
history is repeating itself.
They're seeing
their
what happened
timeline.
2,000 years ago.
2,000 light years.
And we don't think about that. We think, oh, they've got their magnifying glass out and they're looking. Because remember all the stories? All the stories are, they're looking out across space and they see us and we're about to blow ourselves up with atomic weapons and they must come and save us from ourselves. But if they're a couple of thousand light years away, their super telescope is seeing what happened here that many thousand years back.
That's why they have to visit to get an actual real time
to get
event.
a real update. They're like, oh, they've got spears and catapults, so we must go because they're probably about to blow themselves up now with a nuclear weapon.
Right, and if they're seeing what's happening 2,000 years ago, well, that's pretty interesting. So of course they'd want to load up and come do some sightseeing.
You think they probably were?
I would.
Why are y'all crucifying that guy?
What's wrong with you?
Really?
people?
Are y'all stupid?
Either that or they put up some kind of force field fence around the planet, so, they keep outside.
Just keep, yeah.
Stay away
Is
from
that
these.
it's to keep us in.
These monkeys are dangerous. Stay out of there.
There's no, there is a what's the word from firmament around the earth
Yes.
to keep us in, keep us from going out and doing something stupid everywhere else.
Yeah, we think we're so superior.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, that's you just can't fix all this stuff, and it just. But I'm always fascinated with what the press, and it's not just the press. I don't know who they are exactly, but somewhere out there is a they, and they decide apparently what we're all supposed to think, what we're all supposed to be fed, what is important for us to know. And, well, let me give you a good example, Sky, about how easily these things turn. So I know while I was out, the whole, hey, we're going to have a memorandum of understanding with Iran is rolling out. And I don't know all the points of that yet, but it doesn't look like I mean, are they really agreeing not to have a nuclear weapon? That was the goal, and that's what we got, right? We won. Yay. No nuclear weapon. Yeah. But the folks on the left in the media, every day, we've got to stop attacking Iran. We've got to stop attacking Iran. We're killing innocent people in Iran. We need to stop attacking Iran. What are we doing in Iran? This is the most ridiculous thing ever. Why are we in Iran? And look, and we've said on this program, I didn't think it was a great idea, but if we're in it, let's win it and be done. But every day it was stop attacking Iran, stop attacking Iran. What do? Donald Trump stops attacking Iran and says, hey, I think we got a deal. We can stop this whole thing. Immediately, they're like, what are you doing? I can't believe it. You didn't win anything. You lost everything. This is awful. Republicans doing it. Now, it's most of the squishy, terrible ones. What's his name? Cornyn may be one. That little guy from Louisiana that lost his primary may be one. A bunch of Republicans as well. And then let me be fair to everyone. We got to take a break.
30 seconds, roughly.
Was it not just a few days ago that Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro and all these never Trumpers from way back had started saying, if you don't agree with Trump at every step, you're not MAGA. You're terrible. You're a traitor. We love us some Trump. Trump's the greatest. He's awesome. Instantaneously. What's Trump doing? Trump's an idiot. If he doesn't include everybody in this, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I have to admit, Donald Trump should pick his friends a little better, because he basically spurned everybody who had supported him for years for these fair weather friends, and now he's the bad guy? Again. And he was warned.
That was before major details were released, by the way.
Oh, yeah, they were already upset.
Started bashing the deal.
They sure did. We got to take a break. Lots of stuff to do. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome into the program, everybody. We appreciate you listening to the show. Scott, I'm going to turn on the old, what was the thing over here, Zoom? Yeah, just to make sure, in case we have a phone call. Number here, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. So much stuff happening. Did y'all discuss the memorandum of understanding with Iran?
We touched on it, but like I said, there was very few details available at the time. Not much was released.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's very many details
still not available
out now. When you search, YouTube has you know who AI is referencing, and it probably is the best one.
Let me guess. Is it from the Middle East?
Yes.
That's my
Al
favorite.
Jazeera. Al Jazeera. I don't think we can trust necessarily Axios' take. So AI gives us Al Jazeera through YouTube, which is a 7-minute presentation, Axios, and that's before apparently it was completely out, and then CNN.
Of course, you got to put them in.
Now CBS News has something, the 14 points of the agreement, Both sides agree to the immediate and permanent end to military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon.
Check.
I'm okay with that. Is there anybody out there?
Huh?
And let's do that this way, okay? Let's pretend we're on the committee. We're not, because I'm trying to figure out what people are upset with.
Okay.
In
Take
this,
it apart.
in this legislation.
Break it down.
So both sides agree to the immediate and permanent end to military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Are we in Lebanon?
Well,
don't-
there's some activity.
There's some activity in Lebanon.
Yes,
One of
I'll
our
just leave it at
allies
that,
is in
yes.
Lebanon, but that
Yeah, there
ally
you
is
go.
not really. That's different, apparently. Iran can begin exporting oil as soon as the MOU is signed. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, if you're having peace and your country depends on oil. Now, this is signed by the speaker of the Iranian legislature, right?
I'm not aware of that. No.
So I think we're down. This is not the Ayatollah or the Khomeini or
is this who's
whatever.
in charge or who's
I
the
think he
acting
may be the last guy.
poobah over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they may have some of their internal strife about who actually could sign something. Iran will make arrangements using its best efforts for the safe passage of commercial vessels with no charge for 60 days only from the Persian Gulf to the Sea of Oman and vice versa. So is Iran going back to, do they get to charge a fee for people passing through? Is that what they're doing?
Well, that's on the table. I'm not sure that that's part of this
Let's
agreement.
keep going here. So, I got some questions on that. This is CBS News now. The U.S. and regional partners will develop a reconstruction plan for Iran worth at least $300 billion.
Woo. That's a bit of a windfall for whoever gets those contracts.
Yeah, well,
That's for sure.
That probably makes our we'll blow up your stuff and we'll rebuild it for you cats, that class of people, that group of people in the United States. Because didn't we rebuild a bunch of Iraq?
Yes.
For
and every other
what
country that we
purpose?
bombed, except
Yeah, because we're so solid in
there
Iraq
was-
now,
and-
right?
And Scott, there was nothing to rebuild in Afghanistan, so we just left them all our equipment. that's how we roll.
That's how we
You
roll.
get- here's a parting gift for playing our game. Thanks.
Iran affirms that it, quote, shall not procure or develop nuclear weapons.
Okay. Well, can we? What's the oversight? What's the check? What's the inspections?
CBS News doesn't tell us that.
Well, they promise. The Scouts honor? Do they promise?
Yeah, they pinky
Okay.
promise.
Cross their heart? Okay. All right. Well,
Just
that's
like
good enough
the,
for me, man.
Who were the pirates? The Barbary pirates.
Cross our hearts. Yeah.
Hey, look, I said before, you can't trust anybody over there.
You can't trust anybody over here.
No, you can't.
And you sure can't trust anybody over there.
The two sides have agreed to resolve the disposition of stockpiled enriched material. Now, if that works,
Okay.
U.S. sanctions on Iran will be lifted on schedule as part of a final deal linked to nuclear compliance. So Donald Trump is telling them, hey, look, you can become a normal part of the world as long as you check all these boxes. If you legitimately stop with the nuclear program, we're okay. But did y'all see where people came out of the woodwork and said, well, wait a minute, you're going to let them have ballistic missiles? Ballistic missiles are not nuclear weapons. It doesn't matter how many times you saw it on television. A ballistic missile doesn't mean it carries a nuclear warhead. It is a missile with conventional weapons on top. Ones that just go boom, not the ones that go kaboom. Or maybe they're the ones that go kaboom and not the ones that just go and then everything gets wiped out. And I think that really got people upset, which I don't know. My point is, when were people saying that Iran shouldn't have any weapons? Who was saying that? Why would anybody think a country doesn't have any right to defend themselves?
Well, historical precedent has been set where the losers of wars have
had to be
stripped of their
neutered.
military. Yes.
Yeah, we did that.
So we have done that.
We have done that.
Didn't work out too well, but
No. There will be 60 days to sign a final agreement which the two sides can agree to extend. So this is not the final agreement, which I think people need to understand.
so we're going to have a limited peace in the meantime.
Apparently this is a glorified first step because this is what Trump said at the G7 on Wednesday. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing. I don't want to do that because it is so good, but we might have to because we're never going to let them have a nuclear weapon.
Okay. So we're under a temporary ceasefire.
Yeah, with some guidelines of, hey, this is what we're going to do. Can y'all agree to these parts and let's just move forward?
Well, every understanding, every report, Iran is in desperate situation. Their rates of exchange, whatever their currency is, I forget exactly, but it's like $2 million to $1 US.
Yeah, they're struggling. There's no doubt about it.
Food is becoming an issue. Water is becoming an issue.
Really?
So if you want your peasant revolt, so to speak, the table is set. That was really our great hope, I think, was that we would have some kind of an overthrow of the Islamic regime.
Yeah, and I think they went ahead and killed everybody early that might possibly lead a regime change. And let me just go ahead and say that as the noose of surveillance closes around us in the West, the government, whoever the government is, and I know many of our fellow Americans love the government. This blank, faceless government. They will. Do y'all? God, I know I shouldn't say y'all and you. Do y'all really think they're going to use all the algorithms and all the computing power and all the predictive power to keep Scott from robbing the convenience store?
I'm not buying that one. No.
No.
Thought crime.
What they're going to do is they're going to keep Scott and Jane and Will and Carmine and Juan, all of them who are like, this is bull. This is tyranny. We need to stand against the government. That's what they're going to predict. And that's who they come for first, because you and I may have the tendency to be willing to say, I'm not giving up my God-given rights to this faceless they/government, and they come for you first. You know how I know that?
How you know that?
Is we have so many cameras out right now, you can't sling a dead cat without hitting one of their little black flock cameras. Have they stopped crime?
Not a bit.
It doesn't seem like they have.
No.
Does it seem like they're really just getting after it and busting those guys that are breaking into your houses or stealing your cars or drive-by shootings? You think, man, they have put a stop to all that.
Not a bit.
Shoplifting?
No.
Doesn't seem like it.
Robberies? No.
So
Murders?
what is all that for? I
Keep
mean,
an eye
I'm
on
sure
us.
they use it every once in a while to give us a little, wow, they went and caught Carl, used one of their cameras for it. I don't buy it. We got to take a big break. Golly bum, there's so little time in the day. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovery.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. So let me get through a couple more of these things about this memorandum of understanding. Over at CNBC, Sam Meredith has a piece and it says Trump hits back at critics as Iran peace deal fuels debate over U.S. concessions. Now, I'm just a commentator, down here from the South in Alabama, just going by, what's said out there, what's publicly out there. And I've still got my sheet here that has the 5 or 6 possible reasons that we were getting involved in the conflict with Iran. And I'm pretty sure that most Americans settled on that we're doing this because we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Most Americans didn't really care about regime change. They don't really care. We've also already seen that regime change does not necessarily create a better environment. All we have to do is look at Iraq. We did a regime change there, probably turned into a worse country than it was already, especially for Christians. I mean, I understand that we don't care about Christians. We seem to care more about everybody else. At least our leaders and our media leaders don't seem to care about Christians. So we settled on we're stopping them from getting a nuclear weapon. That was it. That's what it was all about. We rolled out maybe it's really about China. Maybe it's about the petrodollar. Maybe it's about ending a 47-year-old conflict that started way back in 1979 or ever how many years that is, Sky.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that was a subtext along with the stopping the nuclear weapons. So what is everybody whining about when they're saying the United States has given too many concessions? Hey, look, my brother and I don't have a brother. I'm just saying it. I'm mad at him. He took the last cookie. We're fighting in the yard. Just bloody noses, fighting the whole 9 yards. And he says, fine, I'll give you the cookie, dang it. And I get the cookie. Is that not a victory?
That's a win.
That's a win, is it not? And then so your little sniveling cousin who, never likes anything is over there going, well, you won and all you got was a cookie? You just got a cookie? Why didn't you steal? He has a Dr. Pepper. Why didn't you steal it too? Well, because I said I was mad about the cookie. That's what we were fighting about was the cookie. Well, you should have taken that too. So what exactly are we complaining about if we agreed that this was about stopping Iran from having nuclear weapons? And what I love now, Sky? This is why you cannot argue with some people. And I'm not going to say leftist, but people in general, because they just move the goalpost around. They don't even bother to dig it up and move it. It is on a trailer. And they just hook to it and move it all over the place. Because when Barack Obama was making his awful deal with Iran about nuclear weapons, you could trust everything the Iranians said. They're like, hey, we pinky swear. Well, don't you want to have some sort of way to actually check? No, the Iranians are against that. But they promised us, and I'm Barack Obama, the Messiah, the one you've been waiting for, and you can trust them. Well, no, you can't trust them. They will lie to you. Well, Scott Beason, what are you denigrating their culture? Are you calling them liars? They are fine citizens. And you didn't know they are Persians. And And the Persians and the Muslims would not lie. These are people who've been around for. This is an empire, Scott. This is. I cannot believe you would say they would lie. You fast forward to Donald Trump, who's much more likely to say, "Hey, you're going to agree to our deal, or we're going to bomb the heck out of your leadership again." So y'all got to decide: do you want to live one more day on the planet, or do you want to give up nuclear weapons? And so now it's like, oh, well, you can't trust them. Donald Trump's got a terrible deal. Y'all can't keep moving the goalpost around. And I know people get angry. I get it. They get mad because our greatest ally is mad. And I don't understand what we're doing. But my question is, do you want peace in the Middle East or not? Well, Scott, there won't ever be real peace. Okay, well, how about this? Let me ask you the question again. Your kids, my kids. I got to quit saying you, Sky. I know it insults people. It causes people to lose their minds and turn off the radio.
Use people. You guys.
If your kids are fighting constantly in the back seat of the car, constantly, does there ever come a point where you're like, for the love of all that is good, if you will just not fight for 20 minutes, we'll be at the exit where they have that really good ice cream and we will stop and get ice cream? Have you ever said that? Oh, no, I don't do that. When I say no, my children obey. Well, you know what? You're way better than all the rest of us, okay?
They're lying. They're lying.
No, absolutely lying. Everybody makes these deals of, hey, look, can you just stop it? Maybe it's your brother and sister. Maybe it's your mom and dad. Maybe it's your dad and your grandfather. And you're like, can't y'all just stop? Can you not fight for one Christmas, for one holiday? Can you make it through one day? Well, why is that not the same for the Middle East? Can you make it through 1 year? Can you go 3 or 4 or 5 years without just killing each other all the time? Can you do that? Well, there won't ever be permanent peace, Scott. There will not be permanent peace. Okay, fine. Can we negotiate a year? Can we just do that? Can we celebrate just a little break? Can we do that? No, we cannot. But if you can get a week of peace in Ukraine, what do the same people in the press say? Yay! It's awesome. We got a 7-day ceasefire. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's wonderful. That's our problem, Sky, is we're dealing with people that no matter what you give them, they're mad about it. Yeah. You give them ice cream, they're mad that it was chocolate. You take the chocolate back and you give them vanilla, they're mad that it didn't have crushed up Oreos in it. You take that back, you put some more Oreos in it, they're mad because when you mixed in the Oreos, you kind of made it a little softer. It's not as hard. They like the really hard ice cream. And you're like, what the heck? You take that back, you put it in the freezer, you get it cold for them, they're mad because they had to wait. And then you didn't give them anything to drink with it. You
can't win.
You can't.
You can't win.
So you just got to do what you think is best and ignore these people. Exactly. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Let's get out to your phone calls, get as many of these in as we can before the break. Maybe somebody will hold over. Let's go. Is it in order? Red
That
Top.
is, yes.
Red
correct.
Top, welcome to the program.
Good morning. At the end of the last segment, I thought maybe you were talking about Baskin Robbins with chocolate and vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
and
that would be
Dr. Pepper and
good
cookies
from the
and all
old
that.
days. Yes.
Sprinkles.
Yes. It took a little bit of the seriousness off the situation.
Well, I try to make
Okay.
people still smile, even though, it's annoying.
Well, it just goes far off. Way out there. I'm left-handed, born on the 13th, and Scott, this man can get way further out than I ever got on pot. I'll tell you
Well,
that.
see, I'm well, yeah. Now
Some
you know
people
why
don't
I don't
need to,
partake in
Hey.
such things. I was born on the 13th, though. I'm just right-handed, though.
Beason doesn't need any enhancement. Okay?
You can correct that if you try really hard, Scott. I'll help you.
My dribbling was never good left-handed.
I told Sky this. I heard this on NTD News yesterday. The Ayatollah is on his way to his burial.
The old one or the new one? I mean, which one are we
I
on?
don't know. You're the guys that have all the news. They did not specify. The old one's been gone a long time, man.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it's the new one.
It is. This one was 86 years old, killed in a joint U.S.-Israeli airstrike in February.
So that's
Okay,
the old
so
one.
that is the old one.
That's
okay,
the old
let me
one.
tell you what they're doing. He's on his way through Iraq now. So I think they're going to bury him in Syria, probably around Mecca or something like that.
His hometown of Mashhad.
Mashhad.
Yes.
Mossad, in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was noteworthy news for folks. And none of these people have anything to do with the implementation of this deal, and this is just to cease hostilities and negotiate details.
That's
So-
my understanding as well. That's why they
That's
call
all
it
it
a
is.
memorandum of understanding. But the press and
Yeah, so-
everybody's, I guess the press just doesn't know what they're talking about a lot. Red Top.
Well, they just don't know what's going on, and it kills them because Donald Trump's in control. But let me tell you what Donald Trump has done that is more significant is he's turned the screws on the Senate about the Save America Act,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got them in a problem. He is not gonna put his new DNI guy in even consideration, and they don't get the chance to consider him until he nominates him.
Right.
So they're gonna have to deal with the guy they don't like. They never get off their butt and pass the Save America Act. It's time for the Republicans to get in the plan. And this is what the big news is. All the stuff about Iran is pretty much the way I expected. The biggest miracle is Iran must not have many terror cells because there was not one event across the globe caused by Iran terror during this whole thing. That surprises me, guys.
No, I agree with you on that. I thought there would have been something out there small, but I think
expecting
it's
something
because there's a couple of conspiracy theories out there, Red Top, and I don't want to necessarily explore them, but there is the argument that some terrorism around the world has been quote unquote sponsored by people who profit from fighting terrorism.
Oh, well, that's pretty much an ongoing thing. So that's not a conspiracy theory. That's old news.
Good.
And I don't really care about what all these people say. I deal with the reality on the ground.
Okay.
So that's what Donald Trump's dealing with. They better get off their butts and get the SAVE Act. And I think Donald Trump's timing is excellent. We do not want to be fighting a war during July 4th celebrations, guys. At 10 o'clock this morning, we got J.D. Vance live conference from the White House. So everybody look at that, and we'll get more information. Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you,
Got it.
guys.
Appreciate it. Yes, the SAVE Act stuff is very, very interesting. Donald Trump is putting the pressure on them. We're seeing, and I said this the other day before I left, the problem they have in the United States Senate is I don't think today they actually have enough Republicans to pass it, period. It's
Not
not
even
the
a simple
filibuster.
majority,
The
no.
filibuster is the excuse. The filibuster is the cover. The filibuster is the procedural vote that they say we just can't get to 60. That keeps them from outing the 3 or 4 that are going to make it so we don't have a majority if they got it to a straight up vote. Now, are those people doing it because they hate Donald Trump and they hate Donald Trump more than they love America, and or they are the beneficiaries of corrupt election systems, which I think maybe all of those things might be true. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. Second half, Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Don't forget Brian Dawson's podcast. I know we run a couple other ads for that on the program, but go check it out over at YouTube. It's 1819 News, the podcast. It's always a good listen. Usually they have a new episode every week. I don't know who came out or what came out yesterday. It's usually on a Wednesday, but check it out. See how it's going. You will enjoy it. 1819 News, the podcast, with Brian Dawson. Let's go out to your phone calls and get caught up here. James, welcome to the program.
Okay, Scott.
What's up?
I'm taking a break from floating Corral. Oh, by the way, man, Walmart does have this plain old-fashioned, no-print Corral like I have. So if you go in there...
They do, really?
Yeah, they do. And it's like 12 pieces. It's like 4 cups. No cups. 4 plates, 4 saucers, and 4 something else. It's like maybe the small saucer and then the one with the place for the cup in the center.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 4 bowls. 4 bowls and a saucer and a plate.
Okay.
In one box. So if you're going to have a setting of 8, you want to buy 2.
Okay.
And you're looking at like $40. Okay.
Man.
See, I was thinking about you the other day, Scott.
Thank you, James. Is that the Winter Frost? Is that what it's called, the plain white Winter Frost?
I'm honestly not sure.
But does it float?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I lead an exciting life. I mean, I'm walking through Walmart the other day, and I'm like, hey, you need to go check it. And so, but anyway, how far back do we want to go, Scott? Do you recall the Contras and Ollie North?
I do, yes.
What was the secretary's name? For 10 style points.
Ollie,
Secretary of State?
Yeah, yes. What was
secretary?
Ollie North's secretary who shredded the documents? What was her name?
Oh, God.
Fawn Hall. That's the name I was looking for. Okay, continue.
Dawn Hall?
Fawn, F-A-W-N.
Fawn Hall.
Yes. Oh, she was a knockout.
Was she really?
Oh, yes, she was.
Yeah.
Just had to bring that up. All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
well,
Go ahead. Clear it up.
any other way you want to make me miserable today?
I'm working on it, man. Give me a minute, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sure you could think of something.
I'm working on it. Go ahead.
But, hey, I mean, if you see some single woman out there with lots of money, young enough, money enough, call me.
You got it, man.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Now, if we could go back further, Scott, can we go back further?
Yeah, absolutely. Further back than Fawn Hall?
Yeah.
Yes. Isaac and Ishmael.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That is going back now.
Okay, now, and probably before that, but at least that far back, we have, I mean, excuse me for going there, but we have the Word of God, so we've got documentation.
Okay.
All right? Isaac and Ishmael.
Gotcha.
And we all know how that took place.
Okay.
All right? Why we have Ishmael and why we have Isaac.
Okay.
The reason we have Ishmael is because man was trying to help God.
Yep, God made a promise, and it wasn't coming fast enough, so Abraham was trying to speed it up.
Correct. And maybe we might be giving Abraham too much credit. I think this was his wife's idea.
Oh.
Take my handmaid.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sarah.
And if you will go and look and read the Word of God in Genesis, it tells you what kind of man Ishmael is going to be.
Yes, it
Yep,
does.
he's kind of a wild man, and everybody's kind of against him, and yeah. Isn't that right?
And he's against everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now move forward to Muhammad and the Mohammedans,
Okay.
the Shiites and the Sunnis. And
Okay.
like oftentimes, Scott, I've said more than I need to.
Okay.
Okay, you with me?
I'm with you, except I have gotten myself sidetracked. Did y'all know that last year Oliver North married Fawn Hall?
No way.
You're
You finally
kidding.
got it done.
No.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Reportedly,
how
North
old
was
is
81.
Oliver?
She's 65. They reconnected at the November 2024 funeral for somebody, and they got married last year.
Well,
makes
you know
me.
what? I'm happy for them both.
I am too. That's fantastic. Thanks for looking that up.
Well, so that's what I do here, just to try to.
Oh, gosh. Oh, God. I can't think
What a
what's it
romance.
called. What's it called? Go back to your camera thing. Oh, Enigma.
Okay.
All right, you remember the movie?
I do.
All right. The reason they couldn't go out there and start cleaning up a bunch of stuff, in other words, keep things from being missiled or torpedoed, rather, was because if they did, they figured the Germans would figure out that they had broken the code.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we don't, we're not having the corrections that maybe we could have, not should, but could have, because they don't want us to know what they know. And you've covered that on this program before. But, there are those that go out and hunt deer and will shoot a deer. It goes in small and comes out bigger on the backside, and they still think that Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy from the depository.
Mm-hmm. That's what they call. That's what they tell us.
Isn't that kind of like behind and at the wrong angle?
There you go.
How
again.
dare you start such a thing? We have government reports that tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah, well, it is Conspiracy Thinkers Thursday, right?
It is. You're right. Hey, let me ask
right,
you
what
this
about
conspiracy real quick, James.
Okay.
Did some leftists throw some extra algae or phosphorus in the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. to help it turn green faster?
I haven't got my report on that yet, but I can do the research for you if you like.
Yeah, if you find it, I've seen that bubbling around, but the left is really, really excited that the reflecting pool is green. Now they didn't care that it basically had that goopy, cloudy weed kind of stuff in it under other presidents, but now that the Trump administration redid it and it turned green, the second week or something, man, they're all over it. No worries about fraud in Minneapolis, no worries about fraud in California, Ohio, or any of the places. The big story is that pool is green and Trump is a failure.
Tell me this. Do you remember the name of the State House representative that was filing the bill on the anti-spray thing against chemtrails? Do you remember his name?
The Alabama representative?
Yes. Do you remember when you reported on that several weeks ago?
Yeah, but I don't
Maybe
remember.
Even months.
I don't remember who did it in Alabama.
Okay. You remember why he was called and asked to cease and desist?
I do not remember why. Why?
Because there was a company out there that was making their hay off of spraying the clouds.
Oh, I remember. You're talking about the Washington version. Mac Butler did it in Alabama, but I thought the pushback was the Washington one.
I'm not sure. I just remember it different than you.
Yeah.
Mac Butler was the guy that started the bill here in Alabama.
Yes, Mac Butler from Rainbow City.
Okay, Mac Butler.
Gadsden, basically.
Okay, Donald Rumsfeld. What happened to the $2 trillion? I think it was two. It might have just been one. Do you remember?
Yeah, the one that was in the third building at that came down during 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to the attack, quote unquote, there was some money that was missing.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be tracked. Couldn't be accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that was related to some Pentagon. And then all of a sudden, after the attack, you don't hear anything about that.
Yeah, all the records apparently were all in that same building, as in the same box, and it was destroyed. And so, therefore, we have no records. I mean, lose $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there. It doesn't really matter. Nobody should even try to piece it back together.
I mean, what difference does any of that make, right, Scott?
At this point, right, at this time, yeah, what does it matter? All right, James. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Have a fan.
Sky, you try to stay out of trouble this week.
I sure will, man. Thanks for the
And
advice.
I'm going to tell my wife to swing by the Wally World and see if we can get some plain Corral.
Well, hey, if you can't find it up there where you are, we got it in Prattville.
You got it in Prattville. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, buddy.
All right, ta-ta.
You know, James made a good point. You know, there are thousands of people who go to Walmart and think of us in this program
Absolutely.
when they go.
Every day.
Thousands of people every day. And we appreciate y'all looking out for us. Hey, does any College World Series, Sky? I know we only have 30 seconds, so we got to take a break.
Yes.
Two brothers playing yesterday or last night, Oklahoma versus Georgia. Final at bat, bottom of the ninth, older brother, last collegiate at bat ever. They're getting smashed by Oklahoma. Strokes it out of the park. His little brother's like so happy for him playing second base for Oklahoma, and he gives him the 5 or the fist bump or whatever as he makes the rounds. Mom and dad are in the stands crying.
Aw, baseball. I missed it.
Yeah. I saw
I'll have to
somebody say
replay
something
that.
about, hey, look, hold on to these bleacher years because they go by too fast.
So you don't think they threw him a tater, do you?
Surely not.
Nah.
We got to take a break.
I just had to ruin that for you.
You did.
I'm on it today.
I'm busy crying over here. Don't mess it up. We'll be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. So was I right, Sky, or not?
That was quite a moment.
Brock's brothers. Oh, I got you on that one.
Beautiful.
No, it's a really good. If anybody has social media out there, search for Georgia, Oklahoma, and Georgia, Oklahoma baseball, and you'll get to see it is exactly as I described it. The little brother has that little brother look on his face. The ball is going out. The older brother looks like the older brother's supposed to look, and it's amazing. It really is.
The family in the crowd, in the stands, just.
And how many baseball games have they been to? And think of all the times they had to go to separate baseball games because one kid's at Georgia, one kid's at Oklahoma. They're clearly two different ages. Even in travel ball, maybe mom goes to one, dad goes to the other, and they swap out. Or maybe mom and dad go to this kid's this weekend and that kid's next weekend. And so the last at bat for the older son in college, they're playing against the younger son. That's amazing. It really, really is.
What a moment.
Somebody explain to me
he gets
how
the home run. Plus
Oklahoma.
the younger brother moves on into the championship round.
So who's the championship? Oklahoma versus who?
North Carolina, I believe.
North Carolina.
I think that's settled. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
They were pretty heavy favorites going in.
Who was number one? Georgia.
Georgia. Everybody liked Georgia.
Yeah.
The Vegas folks.
Did Alabama leave people at home? Like, did people miss the bus? What happened? Did they not take their pitchers? Like, did the pitchers stay out drunk? We just drove out of the park both games, Sky.
Here's the thing. Bama was one of the few teams in the country that ran a 3-man pitching rotation. Most teams were running at least 4.
So it's kind of like high school. My hometown high school has had some of the best defensive baseball teams and hitting baseball teams, but because the way the playoffs are set up, they eventually
it caught up to
they
them.
Run out of pitchers because they hardly ever have more than one good pitcher.
Right, and they only had 3 in their rotation, and I think it just wore out.
Yeah.
Evidence would support that. So
wow.
That's why you don't go with a 3-man rotation.
Well, I'm sure they didn't want to.
No, but that's just that's how it worked out.
That's how it works out. Yeah. And so if you're already short or you're thin, we'll say thin, and one's not having a good week or something happens or he hurts his shoulder or whatever, well, then you're just throwing up, what'd you say, taters, and people are just smoking them. Because we got whipped both games.
Yeah, badly. Didn't even score the first game. I said to anybody that would listen, if Bama did not win that first game, if they went into the losers bracket, they were sunk.
They were going to have a tough time.
Because they needed the rest. They needed to rest those off. And the bullpen.
Yeah, and Oklahoma put it on us early in that first game.
And they got in the bullpen, so it was pretty much all done.
That's what happens. It was funny, though, because – and I've got to be better. My daughter's played in 2 Final Fours and a championship game. Should have won the national championship game the second time. Should have just made a better show. Probably should have, could have won the first one, but they got whipped in the first one. And instead of being thankful and grateful and talking about how awesome it was to be in a Final Four, at least myself focuses on, my goodness, we should have won. You get it? It's the whole view. Like, look at Troy. Troy is like, we made it to the World Series. We won a game in a World Series. This is awesome. Greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And the Alabama fans are like, what the crap? Are you kidding me? You made the World Series, got put out first 2 games? Come on. It's the spoiled by expectations.
It truly is. And Troy's got something to build on. They're excited. Bama goes home with another disappointing loss in the tournament.
But it's almost impossible to win. You can't just be good and win a tournament style deal like baseball is, volleyball is, basketball is, and football is getting there. You've got to have some breaks. You can't have your setter can't be sick. You can't be thin on pitchers. You can't. One of your guys can't have a bad day. The ball's got to bounce right. You can't have that one guy who's blind and hurting one leg slap a home run out of you, and you lose 1-0. You just
timing is everything.
Yeah.
This time of year in baseball,
these games where you can't just muscle up and just beat somebody, you got to have some luck. You got to have some.
A lot of things
balls got
have to go your way.
Bounce the right way.
And that's what's happened for Oklahoma. They were not that well thought of by the odds makers going into the tournament, the World Series, and they were hot at the right time.
Yeah,
they've gotten production out of some unexpected sources.
They're one of those teams where like, hey, how did we end up here? I don't know, but let's just win another game.
They're going to.
Where other teams are like, hey, we got to win. We're Georgia. I think that was part of their deal. They were probably cursed by everybody talking about how good they were.
Expectations. Yeah, they were supposed to deliver. There's a lot of pressure by the time you get to Omaha, and it just didn't work. But Oklahoma,
it is a spectacle.
Looks unstoppable.
The College World Series and the girls softball World Series, that is a spectacle. It's amazing how that whole thing goes on with so many teams and so many fans, and it's an amazing thing. But
there can only be one winner, so
that's right.
It's easy to be disappointed, but there's some solace in.
I think we should all celebrate the making it to the Final Fours, to making it to the Sweet 16s, to making it to the College World Series, and then if the ball doesn't bounce right, that's just the way it goes. I mean, you got to be one of the best teams to make it there, and but I've always struggled with that. Dadgummit, do we really have to come in second? Whether it's Merritt them or whether it's Mac and them, just like what the
it's
heck?
It's bittersweet. Yeah, you just experienced it, and not only that, the way that your daughter's team lost.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot about the national team. About that was the pros. I mean, they should have been. We should have been celebrating making it to the championship game, considering where they were 3 or 4 weeks out. They didn't even know if they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
so we've had a national championship in college, a Final Four in college that should have been a national championship win, and then a national championship in professional, and then a semifinal loss in football in high school.
That's a lot of success when you add it all up.
And
now it doesn't always end with a title,
but it's being
a lot
spoiled.
Of success. It is.
I'm still mad at the refs at that high school thing, but hey, look. I don't have to answer to God for corruption. They do.
That's right. We'll leave it up to him.
Then their precious team got the crap beat out of them later. But hey, look, you did your little thing. That's fine. But it is annoying. Have you thought about how willing? Because it's not just college. People are always talking about, well, this little college athlete or that little college athlete was involved in fixing a game. What was the point shaving thing? The basketball
Alabama State.
team.
Yeah, right here in town.
We don't think refs do that.
More will be revealed.
Refs have a better chance of doing it than the players do.
Oh, easy. That's just nothing to it.
And then you don't think it happens in high school? Come on.
You're not supposed to talk about all this.
Is that what you don't do? You just don't discuss it?
Well, you notice that the networks affiliated with sports, they generally they used to wouldn't talk about Vegas lines at all.
At all.
It was verboten.
Right.
And I remember Cosell on Monday Night Football, you know how he was.
Uh-huh.
And he would start it in, and of course, Dandy Don would start freaking out. Howard, you're not supposed to be talking.
Right.
I was just analyzing the game, and get into that. But really, it was preferred you didn't mention it, particularly when it came to over-unders and, points to that might change the outcome of certain.
If people don't think that referees at every level don't weigh in or don't let their biases bleed over. At best, their biases bleed over. And you and I both have seen games where there is no doubt that guy is nudging things a certain way. No doubt.
Absolutely. That's why, even though I don't bet, I do like to follow the lines. Just so I can keep up with that little drawback.
And what makes me mad about
it doesn't matter.
But like a high school level is you're taking away some of these kids' last time to ever play. and you're messing it up because you have some bias. I mean, you got to be low down.
Selfish.
We got to take a break. Lots of stuff to do. We'll be right back.
Listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back in, everybody. I appreciate y'all listening, and thanks for telling people about the show. It's good to be back today. I hated missing yesterday. There's so much stuff going on. It's just fascinating, everything that's going on. Let's go out to Charles I of Dewey. He wants to weigh in on the Iran. Have you seen how it annoys me, Sky, how many people want to act like, oh, you need to say Iran and not Iran? I don't really care. And it's the same kind of people, but they can't do it with a straight face. Like, I still call it Turkey, and they want to be called Turkey Yay.
Oh, come on.
And I'm like, okay, look, I'm sure that sounds great in Arabic or whatever it is y'all speak in Turkey Yay, but it sounds Turkey Yay in America. Yeah. So give me some more of that. Don't give me this whole Iran stuff. You know, it's annoying.
It's the South, okay?
Well, it's also it's always pointy-headed Karen who, but we've seen how many things through the years that pointy-headed Karen wants you to pronounce it a different way, and it turns out that historically the way we said it was accurate.
Thank you.
Remember how many years Qatar was Qatar? And it never was Qatar?
Yes.
Never was Qatar.
Qatar.
It's always been Qatar.
Qatar.
I told you I had that person who was working in Qatar who knew members of the royal family personally, and he calls the show up one day because somebody had got on to me for Qatar and Qatar. And he says, well, look, I don't know about them. I'm not as educated as they are, but I have a friend who's in the royal family, and he calls it Qatar.
How about all right? Like, there it is, right from the
America.
Well, you know what your leftist know-it-alls would say to that?
What?
Well, they're just uneducated.
Yeah, they're idiot rubes. I mean, they have a very poor education system in Qatar.
Yeah, I can hear it now, man. I know best.
Let's go to Charles I, who wants to talk about the Iran deal.
Yes, Charles.
Hey, Scott.
Hey,
Scott.
What's up?
Well, before I do that, I was listening to you about your kids and the sports and stuff there, Scott.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking as I did, your life has been a whole lot of dealing with people in authority that have terrible biases. It just hit me. Like, okay, think about the Gardendale school situation of Birmingham.
Yeah,
okay?
I agree.
Think about what you had to fight with the Beason Hammond bill. Think about the umpires in the game that Mac was in, and think about attempting to get the mapping to do an unbiased thing. Do you know what I mean? Have you ever thought about, like, just to what extent even you being on the radio has to do with authoritarian figures that are biased and harm especially children that you try to stop and protect? Have you ever thought of that?
I have really not. I did have, the only time it's ever occurred to me, Sky, is somebody who I consider a friend who had said something about the show one time about, I forgot what I was harping on, some racial division issue, and he's like, you come off pretty tough on that. Maybe that's a little too tough. And in my response to him, I was like, I've seen a bunch of things in my life that where the bias, and now that you're saying it, it makes it a little clearer. But I've seen over and over and over the unfairness that is brought out by people who are biased or who are trying to be politically correct, and they make everyone else bow to their view of the world, even though their view of the world is corrupt. Right. So you make a good point. I never really put two and two together. I've kind of skirted around the edge about one time, but I don't know if you make me feel good or bad, Charles the First.
Well, I think it's really a good thing. Like my dad, Guy Hunt tried to get my dad to give up a tape that would incriminate in a drug bust some of his in-laws.
Okay.
And my dad refused to do it. The letter of the law doesn't let you do it. And as you can see, following, even though you may not understand the law that's in place, but following it to the T, unless you change it, is of importance to me.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying there?
I agree.
And so me and you are kind of in the same whole thing there, only I would come at it from a different way. What I was going to say is I got to thinking that the memorandum thing here might just be like the Budapest memorandum with no real clout to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked it up, I saw that we do have what's called the INARA that every legislator except Tom Cotton voted on, that does make that have some clout. And that with an agreement that we make, every 90 days the executive branch has to make sure that Iran is following what it says in any type of agreement because of that. Because Obama had tried to do this thing where it was an international thing that our Congress didn't even get to read or know about, that let them sidestep who could look at their nuclear capabilities.
Right.
And we voted that in place. So I just wanted everybody to realize this isn't necessarily just like a, saying that you're going to do something. It is backed up by our Congress. I mean, Senate, everything, all but one person that said you will follow what you're supposed to do and you will let us know it. So that gave me a little comfort there, and I just wanted to come on and say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Back in
it?
2015, the U.S. Congress passed an oversight called the INARA, the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act. It does require the president to submit the text of any nuclear agreement with Iran to Congress within 5 days of reaching it. It then establishes a 30-day congressional review period during which Congress can vote to approve or disapprove the deal. The president is legally barred from waiving or lifting U.S. statutory sanctions against Iran. So the Congress is going to get to weigh in. I bet some of them woke up this morning and said, "What? I don't want to weigh in on that." But they're going to get to.
They're forced to now, which is really, I think that's good. I think any kind of oversight, and Obama would have just let the other countries give them like 24 days to prepare before we went to look at their facilities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculously terrible and awful. And I thought, well, this is really a good thing. I don't know how come Tom Cotton didn't vote for it, but anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up and carry on the bias fighting cartoon figures there, Scott.
Thanks, Charles the First. We appreciate
Fighting
it.
the power. Yes.
Y'all stick with us. We'll be right back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. Third half, Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Goodness gracious, the days go by too fast. Clark, welcome back in. You were talking about Juneteenth, the day celebrating the last group of slaves in the United States being informed that they had indeed been freed at the end of the Civil War. I mean, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican president. Now, look, I'm going to argue with you that, well, maybe not argue with you, but continue to point out that it wasn't all about slavery, and Abraham Lincoln was not a saint, but he was a Republican, and it was Republicans who were in charge and led the effort. They passed the Emancipation Proclamation, or the president made it. And it applied to all the states that he was not in control of. Didn't apply to the ones he was in control of, so he let his buddies keep their slaves. But hey, look, it was a win, and it was a win for righteousness eventually. Is that fair?
Yes. Well, I'm not arguing that the Civil War was about ending slavery, but Juneteenth and sending Major General Granger to Texas was definitely about finally making the Democrats give up the last of their
Yes,
slaves.
it was. And Republicans were for. Republicans did support freedom, and Democrats were opposed to it. That's just a historical fact. Just like Republicans were for the Civil Rights Movement, and Democrats were opposed to the Civil Rights Movement. Those are facts that many, many, many Americans are not aware of.
Well, the neat thing there is when confronted with this, a leftist will tell you, well, it was that way back then, but it flipped. To which the response needs to be, tell me exactly when that happened.
Yeah.
And I will tell you when it happened. It happened the minute George Wallace figured out he needed African Americans to vote for him to be elected office, and he went from segregation now, segregation forever, to I have sinned.
Yep.
And they bought it. But anyway,
and a bunch of Democrats. What was it? Was it President Johnson's guy who said we'll do a couple of these things, and these folks will be voting for us
Democratic
for 200 years or something like that?
We'll give them a little something, not enough to make a difference.
Yeah, was it 50 years or 200 years?
200.
200 years.
And he's well on his way.
Yeah. He was a Democrat, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
now,
the first modern Democrat, I might add.
Okay. Go ahead, Clark.
Back to that prior president that's about to finish his. No, wait, he's not about to. He's not going to get opened on Juneteenth. It doesn't look like.
Are we talking about Barry Soetoro, the former president known as Barack Obama?
Mike's wife.
Formerly known as Barry Soetoro?
Yes, that guy. What did he say to small businessmen?
He said, You didn't build that. You didn't build that.
You didn't build that.
Uh-huh.
You didn't build that. So I think whenever they open that monstrosity, don't it look like they took the legs off of one of them Star Wars BattleBot things? But anyway.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, and people can be mad. The Barack Obama Presidential Library may be the ugliest, the worst looking building that possibly has ever been built. And I'm not even exaggerating. It is the worst piece of architecture possibly ever. I can't think of anything of any size that is worse looking than that piece of junk. Am I wrong about that?
Also, it's facing significant financial scrutiny, massive cost overruns, and lots of complaints from contractors.
Has Barry not been paying his contractors?
Skyrocketing construction costs. Originally, initial cost $300 million. It's now approaching $900 million. So who didn't see that coming?
And the mantra there needs to be, you didn't build that, and you ain't paid for it either.
You ain't paid for it either.
So,
did Kay Ivey hire Barack Obama's contractors to build our prisons?
Well, she's a piker compared to Obama. Come on.
She's a low rent upstart.
There's an Australian contraction that's better than ugly for that, Scott.
Does it start with an F, or can we go with Bugly?
It does start with an F, and it's right fugly.
Yeah, it's butt ugly, Bugly. Oh my gosh, no, it is the worst. I think everybody out there should search. Just do that. When you get to wherever you're going, get your phone, get it on your computer, and just search for the Barack. Is it called the Barack Obama Presidential Library?
It is. That'll get
and
you
look
there.
for it. And Sky, am I exaggerating?
No,
it is the worst.
I'd like to say it's formless, but that is.
It is. No, that's not even enough to say.
No.
You know what it looks like? It looks like to me that Barack Obama, and whatever spirits he's led by, said, you know what? Let's leave a legacy that is as annoying and useless and just an eyesore and a pain in the butt that will, as much as you were in life, will leave this on the face of the planet even after you're gone. I mean, it does represent the Obama presidency.
Yeah, it's a monstrosity.
A monstrosity.
That's it.
That costs way too much, doesn't pay its bills, doesn't deliver, and brings no beauty or improvement to the world or to the neighborhood that it is in.
I think you covered it. Yeah.
God, we just need to stop
That
the
sums it
show.
up.
That's the best clip I've got in a while. Clark, last words.
Type in Obama Library Star Wars robot.
How many hits does that have so far?
Just see what you get for that.
Okay.
Let's see. We'll just do Star Wars. Obama Library Star Wars. Come on. Images. It looks like part of one of the Snow Walkers, whatever those things were called.
Okay, I didn't know the name of them, but yeah, okay.
Turned on its side and stood up. Yep, that's what it looks like.
With them little zippy things flying around it. Okay.
It is awful. It is absolutely awful. It looks more like some sort of multi-towered, multi-storied prison from Mad Max.
Okay. It's some futuristic, dystopian future type of government installation.
Scott,
terrible. Yes, sir.
You got to admit, you put bars on that thing, it'd make a pretty good prison to lock them all up in.
That's what Chicago's going to have to use it for, because nobody's going to visit that thing. Nobody.
Well, I don't think it's going to have any records or books in it.
No, it's not. It's for real. It's not.
Really?
It's all going to be digitized. Yes.
So they can clean it all up?
Well, I'll leave that to your commentary.
Go.
That's the fact.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Thanks, Clark.
No books at the Obama Library.
Hey, look, he didn't do anything to help anybody be able to read, so why do they need books? They'll all be videos of him and Michelle.
No.
Are they really suing that UCF guy? Is that real?
It's just rumor at this point. But,
okay.
Well, if you go, bring it. Bring it. Go ahead. I'm sure people are standing in line to get sued for saying what he said.
Well, my question is, does that work? Or does it only work if you're a super duper elite, like a Michelle Obama or a Emmanuel Macron's wife? Like if somebody came out and said, Scott Beason is a woman, and we'll just say a woman. They just said a woman. And I went down to the county courthouse and said, I'm going to file suit because somebody said I was a woman. Would that actually go anywhere? Would somebody say, oh, yeah, you've been terribly disparaged, and therefore, and I'm like, oh, no, it really hurt my, and they're like, but you're clearly a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they'd probably laugh you right out of it.
That's what I'm saying. I think that no one would give any credibility to, oh, how terrible it was that somebody said Scott was a woman.
You never know. You get one of those fancy New York judges, and
Yeah, maybe I have a case.
I don't think the Obamas want any part of that, however,
You think?
because, well, you get into discovery, and it's pretty simple what would have to occur.
Well, here's my other question. Say you're the UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And you go in there with your defense. Now, I'm sure the judges will be like, "Oh no, this trial is so important. There can't be any reporters, and you can't know what's happening in there." But does he just not say, "Hey, here's why I think it. This is what this person said, and this person said, and this person said, and this person said, and this video, and that video, and her on video, and Barack Obama on video, and this, and this has led me to think this. How is it my bad?"
Pretty strong defense you've got there.
And then when the judge says, well, you don't know for real, and you say, "Well, Judge, I don't even know what you are for real."
What is a woman, Your Honor?
Oh, God, that's even better. I don't even know what a
I
woman
rest my
is.
case.
I thought everybody was a man. Well, no, here it is. I thought saying she's a man was better. She would be elite. Oh my gosh.
Show me your ovaries.
Why didn't they sue like Alex Jones when they were trying to destroy Alex Jones? He had videos and he was like, "Hey, what's going on?"
If the dress doesn't fit, you must have quit.
If the dress doesn't fit, no, if the dress fits too much, it brings up questions.
It's a hung jury. Okay, all right, that's enough.
The tape fails, you must have quit. I can't. It's hard to make tape. Let's take a break before we're involved in that suit. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
So here's the deal. During this program, because of y'all, and I look at a lot of stuff when the program's not going on, but during the program, y'all calls me to look up things and look up this and look up that, and I run across this article and that article, and then I find this viewpoint and that viewpoint, or I go to AI and I ask a question, then I ask a question a little bit differently, and all of a sudden you start getting these different answers, or you start getting a little deeper stuff, and a lot of times the deeper stuff is more referenced. And I know we've beaten this dead horse a few different times, but listen to this. Now, this is from the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library, the National Archives, Wikipedia, a Wikipedia article. That's the three main articles. Let's see if I can get the show all. I'll give you a couple more. Wikipedia article. Facebook from the Southern Poverty Law Center, so you know that's got to be honest as the day is long, right?
Oh, of course.
The Center for Civic Education, also I don't think very conservative. Reddit has a thing called Discerning History. YouTube, the National Constitution Center. Okay. Another website called African American History. Then, and you go on, there's a couple of Quora and Reddit things. So let me read you this as quick as I can, just because, okay?
All right.
Abraham Lincoln's primary goal at the outbreak of the Civil War was to preserve the Union. Wow, that's in bold letters. While he personally viewed slavery as a moral evil, his political stance was largely focused on preventing its expansion into new territories. Lincoln's approach to abolition evolved from a political containment strategy to total wartime emancipation. So you're like, oh, see, he finally said that's what the war's about. That's not what that just said.
No.
Before becoming president, Lincoln promised he would not interfere with slavery where it already existed, as he believed the Constitution protected it. His main objective was stopping its spread. In August of 1862, he wrote a letter to the editor,
Horace Greeley.
To Horace Greeley. Mm-hmm. So it's written. It's not, Horace Greeley didn't take it out of context.
No,
it is
it's
written.
Documented.
Quote, Abraham Lincoln, quote, "If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it." Preserving the nation was his paramount priority. As the war dragged on, Lincoln came to view emancipation as a vital military tactic to weaken the Confederacy and bolster Union forces. So he didn't see it as a, hey, I'm going to free people because I'm such a good guy. I'm going to free people because that's what I'm fighting for. He said, oh, we can use this militarily to weaken the Confederacy and bolster the Union. Sky?
Quick comment from a contemporary. Charles Dickens commented on the Emancipation Proclamation.
Charles Dickens, like the Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge?
Yes, yes.
That
Great
Charles
Expectations,
Dickens. Okay.
Christmas. Charles Dickens remarked, it was a piece of specious humbug. The North cared no more about the South's slaves than it did its livestock.
Wow.
In other words,
Charles Dickens lie?
Right, exactly. Well, a lot of people that believed in liberty felt that way. They knew what was going on at the time, and it was just the Emancipation Proclamation was ideally hoping to provoke a slave rebellion.
Yeah, it was a military tactic. Yeah, it was, hey, how do we... So the Emancipation Proclamation was a crucial stepping stone, but it did not permanently end the institution, recognizing then you had blah, blah, blah. And don't forget, it was issued in 1863. The executive order declared freedom for enslaved people in the Confederate States only because it was a military measure. This is from the U.S. National Archives. Because it was a military measure, it did not initially apply to slaveholding border states that were loyal to the Union. Now, the only reason I say that, because when Clark brought up that tomorrow is Juneteenth, is not to make people feel bad. It's not to wreck people's view of history. It's just because we just were lied to so much in school. And then the media lies to us. And I saw somebody the other day who said, look, if people are lying to us, if we're being propagandized while we're alive, we're watching the event happen, and the newscaster is sitting here telling us that what we saw with our own eyes did not occur, mostly peaceful protest, did not occur. Imagine how much they lied to us about a lot of history. And these things should not have been hidden. But how many of us knew initially that the Emancipation Proclamation only applied to the places that was the South?
The average American, that would just blow their mind.
The average
they would
American
not believe it.
never
they
knew.
Would not accept it.
I don't even know if my teachers in school, when they taught us about it, realized that it only applied to the areas that Lincoln had no control over. The places he did have control over that were under the authority of the United States, they could keep their slaves. We just weren't told that. And I guess a lot of y'all went to better schools and were better educated than I was. But that kind of stuff is disturbing. And the Horace Greeley thing. Oh, hey, yeah. Look, it's all about the Union. I could care less. Free the slaves, not free the slaves. It's about the Union. That's the president's own handwriting. And I still go online and see these ding-dongs in the comment sections or in some sort of Reddit post, which I don't go to Reddit much, but y'all know what I'm saying. Some commentors who don't know that sentence was written. I'm just fascinated. And then we argue with people who are ignorant of the truth.
Often willfully ignorant.
I mean, we argue with people about the veracity or the effectiveness of COVID shots. And there's people like, oh no, that's the greatest thing ever. Give me another one, please. It's fascinating, Sky.
It is, and it's kind of depressing in many ways as well, because if you don't want the truth, what do you want?
Right.
I don't understand.
I think they want to hang on to their fallacies because their fallacies make them feel better or make them feel superior.
Correct.
More politically correct, more virtuous.
I'll tell you this. I've done a lot of research. You know how I grew up in my history and how I learned early on that it was often a bunch of lies. I have noticed through the years there are no more fierce defenders of Lincoln than a Marxist. And that's a fact.
No, the Marxists do love Lincoln.
They do.
And if you start researching who Abraham Lincoln was close to and who he was influenced by, you start going, wait a minute.
Pen pals with the main man there, Karl Marx.
They did write letters, didn't they?
They did. And he used the force of centralized federal power to crush the rebellion of seceding states. And that's why he's a hero to Marxists. It's that simple.
It's crazy. And then look, and then the more you look, you start finding the influence of international bankers, and then it all just gets
it all kind of comes together.
It all just gets into a really big mess.
Warning, once you start.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
I told somebody the other day, I often yearn for the blissfulness of ignorance because I think it was better.
Well, it was
for
easier.
me personally.
It was better for your peace of mind.
It was easier. So let's go out to something positive. Do we have time to go? We got 1 minute. We got to take a break.
Yeah, we got to.
We got to take a break. Then we're going to have our World Cup update. The biggest thing happening in sports in the world, and Alabama. America plays tomorrow afternoon, so we'll get our update from Raconteur right after this.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in. So my advice again is just don't look stuff up. Just absolutely do not look stuff up. I end up with a Politico article from, what year is this? 2024. And then I just find out about Supreme Court justices and trials and what liberals say about certain cases. And it's just so much of our history is just twisted in order. And let me be honest, a lot of our history is twisted in order to keep peoples apart.
Absolutely.
To make white people to be mad at black people to be mad at white people, make Asian people to be mad at white people and black people, and Hispanic people to be mad at the white people and the black people and the Asian people. It is all to keep us apart. Where Christianity brings us together and says we can all be on the same team, everybody's equal at the foot of the cross. So much of what we're taught, even under the guise of like Whoopi Goldberg whining or whatever it was to Vice President Vance about, all this history that's being erased and being not taught at the which one are you talking about? Well, You know exactly what kind. Well, no, I need you to tell me what. But so much of it, even some of these. We've talked about it before. I don't mean to be so bad, but Martin Luther King Jr.
There's that.
Not a great guy, not a good human being.
I shared some of that after Brian Dawson was here while you were out, and we had a discussion. And later, I shared some of it with some, and they did not want to hear it. No, and this is not a person that's a full blown left wing or anything like that. Pretty much apolitical, but they didn't want to.
Didn't want to hear it at all, and it doesn't change. I can be. That's what we always say. I can be supportive of what somebody says or what somebody supports or what the idea is. All that I can be that, and at the same time say, but I don't think that guy's a good guy. Some people can't separate the individual from the cause. They don't have the ability to say, hey, he's right about these 9 things, but he's awful about this one. Or maybe I can say, hey, that person's terrible about these 9 things, but he's great on this one. You just can't hardly do that. But there's so many things like these stories. It's not just the George Floyd story that was used to divide people and divide a nation, and then after a year or two, you find out, oh wow, the guy really did die. He wasn't killed by the police officers. You find that out, and it's just washed away. The Missouri case where everything was blowing up. What was that guy's name? What's the Missouri town that
Ferguson,
the Ferguson, Missouri thing. Turns out the truth is a different thing. You even go back to the famous Emmett Till story out of Mississippi. We're not told the whole story. There's parts of the story you're told so everybody can hate each other. That's what goes on. And that, if there's anything that I wish to accomplish someday through this program, is to try to get us to realize we're all created by God. Again, we're even at the foot of the cross, and stop letting people lie to. We make plenty of mistakes, and we can deal with those. But let's not fight about and be mad at each other and hate each other and teach our kids things that aren't true that divide us.
Amen.
I mean, when you're divided by lies, that's
worse.
just extra bad.
And just think what we could accomplish if the 70% that we agree on, if we work together.
We celebrated it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
It's in the powers that be's best interest to keep us fighting amongst each other instead of uniting and going after them. Real problems that we could solve.
I agree completely. Let's go to Rocontour. Rocontour, I'm sorry about taking so long, and I appreciate you holding on. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
In Walmart, thinking about you, thought I'd call in.
Well, he does
Walmart.
listen. Everybody thinks about us at Walmart.
Nice.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, and truth be told, you're the reason I was in Walmart. Mentioned a couple of days ago that I voted in the Republican primary, and suddenly started getting emails from the Republican National Convention, so they're listening. So I was in public trying to blend in.
I hear you.
Pro tip for those listeners out there who miss parts of your show, like, for example, I missed the first half of the first half of the first half.
Yes.
But I was able to, on YouTube, start watching it from the beginning and catch up through the commercials, so I'm all caught up now.
Oh, very good. That's the way I do. That's the way I do sporting events when I'm watching it on my streaming service.
Exactly. So working backwards on the Emancipation Proclamation, you're absolutely correct. Unfortunately, the hope was that 500,000 slaves would revolt and cause chaos in the South, but they only recruited about 200,000 slaves to the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
So, with regards to referees, as a former referee and trainer of referees, I can absolutely tell you that referees are biased and throw matches. I watched a high school referee throw a match one time just because he didn't like his alma mater because the coach didn't play him as much when he was a player.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, good. I've been right multiple times today, Rocontour.
You're all over it like cheese on chitlins, brother.
I've never had chitlins. You know, I have. You know, I say I go to the black food truck, which is actually run by Hispanic guys, but the truck is black, and I was just trying to tell people which one I go to. And when I saw their faces when I said I go to the black food truck, I just adopted it as a term. But they have chitlin tacos, and I have been afraid to try them. But can you vouch for chitlins, or are you just using the term?
The first rule of chitlins is know who cleaned them, and if you don't know who cleaned them, you don't eat them.
Can you,
Do you
get
prefer
all the,
stump
can you
womped
get it all
or hand
out?
slung, Kyle?
Hand slung.
Hand slung or stump womped? What's better?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Scott.
Okay, well, you're talking about cleaning chitlins, and I asked stump womped or hand slung. Which do you prefer? See, I'm kind of a chitlin aficionado around here. You know?
Yeah, I'm going to go hand slung. I want to make sure them things is clean.
You have given the correct response.
Well,
done.
sometimes if you
Culinary
just stump
giant.
womp them, you got to stump womp them to get the hard parts out.
Right.
So then you can
hand
sling
slung
them
is the
clean.
preferred method.
I don't know that I'm ever going to try them, Rocontour.
Okay.
All
Well, speaking of things you may not try, let's go to the soccer World Cup.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to hold up.
Can you
on
hold
that.
one more time?
Let's
I'm so
tease
sorry.
that real quick.
But
and,
I need this World Cup update to be everybody to be able to follow it so they can call their friends and let them know we're about to have it. So we got to take another quick break. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.